there. Welcome to the YouTube channel that we've started to help all you long-suffering caregivers still work with your family members, your loved ones in your home, and finding out that there's a lot you have to learn about taking care of the elderly. So I guess first what I'd want to do is tell you a little bit about myself. My name's Cindy, and I've been working with the elderly for, criminy, almost like 20 years. And specifically in the last 9 years, I've actually have some homes in Corvallis, Oregon, where we take care of them in a small environment in a home setting. So the tips I have are hard-earned, and I'm more than happy to share them with anybody. So I thought, why not start sharing them with the world? So anyhow, we're going to start today with how to get your loved one to take pills. That is always difficult, and most people don't know how to do it and find that they're not getting in the pills that your family needs. So the first thing you're going to want to do is talk to your doctor. Find out what pills they don't need to take anymore. It is if they've gotten to the point where they're having problems swallowing or refusing pills, it's more towards the end of their life, and maybe that's not the time that we need the multivitamin. The less pills that we have to try and get into them, the better off you're going to be, the happier you're going to be, and it's going to go really well from there. The second thing you're going to want to do is also find out what pills cannot be crushed. And there are some that are extended release, and if they get them all at one time, then there's some horrible side effects, including possibly death. So you want to make sure that those pills you're not crushing, and you're going to try one of the other tips that I have here. So once you have that information down, you just need a few critical parts to get this going. The first one is you're going to want a pill crusher. And there's all kinds. You can get them at any pharmacy. They're not very expensive. And basically what it is just a tool in which you can twist, and it just pulverizes as well as can be the medication so that it's easier to mix it into something. The next thing you're going to want is some small bowls. These will be your lifesavers, I promise. It just makes life a whole lot easier. You can pick these up anywhere, dollar store, Walmart, whatever. Obviously spoons. And then I'm going to tell you, you're either going to want their favorite kind of jam. If they're diabetic, you want to make sure you're looking at sugar-free, okay? And then if you have somebody who is still swallowing pills but having difficulty with it, but they can swallow a pill whole, then you're going to want something like yogurt, applesauce, ice cream. I typically like applesauce just because it's a little bit smoother to get down and easier. So the first thing I want to do is talk about if they can swallow their pills whole, but they're just having trouble, like, swallowing with water, that type of stuff. So what we do is I just have some applesauce here. If you're doing this part of it, don't worry about putting it in a small bowl. And if they're the only ones eating out of that applesauce jar, just don't even worry about it. Just get a spoonful, you know what I mean? Double dipping is all right if it's your own. So anyhow, so basically what you're just going to do is just get a small amount of applesauce, put the pill on it, and then they can swallow the whole thing. And they don't actually usually need to follow up with water. We find this works really well with people who have trouble swallowing. And water is an aspiration problem for them. So there, see, all gone. Very simple. It makes the whole process smoother, and they're not going to be choking on it, that type of stuff. So the next one I want to talk about is those people who are to the point where we're crushing their pills. We're going to crush their pills because they have either, they're refusing it. A lot of times dementia residents or patients can get to the point where they're really apprehensive to take medications. They might think you're trying to poison them, all kinds of stuff. So those are the ones we would crush, or people who can't swallow a pill whole because of swallowing reasons, aspiration reasons. Aspiration, by the way, means that it's going to go into their lungs instead of into their stomach. So that's where we would be looking at pneumonia, stuff like that. So obviously a bad thing. So anyhow, so once you have somebody who you're crushing your pills, you've talked to the doctor, gotten rid of the medications that are not needed, and you've also found out, making sure that you can crush all the pills, or which ones you can and which ones you can't, okay? So first thing you would do is just put a pill, and I already started this, into the pill crusher. You just keep twisting until it starts to break apart. you can always open it a little bit more and do it again. So then it's going to end up giving it kind of a pulverized. I mean, it's going to be really hard for you to get it to a fine powder, but you know, you're going to do your best. And so it looks something kind of like that. I don't know. Can you see? Hope you can. Okay. So what I, over the years, have seen a lot of people do, including in hospitals and that type of stuff, is that they'll come and they'll bring in a big bowl of applesauce, and they've got all the pills swirled in there, and now it is my job to try and get, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 bites of something that's actually going to be pretty bitter. Have you swallowed a pill? Have you chewed up a pill or had one dissolve in your mouth? It's not a good taste. So if you're trying to give them 4 or 5 bites of it, you're going to be lucky if you get 1 bite in them, maybe 2 at the most. So it's really important to know that we're going to try and do this in the least amount of bites possible. So I don't know if you've ever tried to give somebody pills. You know, you crush it up and you put it, and then all of a sudden they start, you know, picking out those pieces of pills. Well, here's the interesting thing. So there's a couple things to know, and why I'm going to show you the method that I use is, one, consistency and texture is really important. Regardless of where you are and whatever disease you might have, you know that applesauce is pretty darn smooth. You know that yogurt is really smooth. And so when you get chunks in it, what's the first thing you would do? You would pull it out and spit it out. So that's what's going to happen if you're trying to do it with really smooth textured items like that, food products. The next thing is that, unfortunately, our last taste bud that goes away is bitter. So pills, like it or not, like I said, are bitter. So what you're going to want to do is find something that's really super sweet. So we want something that's very sweet to kind of help mask that bitterness. And then secondly, we want to have something that has a consistency that our brain knows is supposed to have chunks in it. So what is the most perfect thing for that? Jam. That's right. So jam is really sweet. You can get it sugar-free, like I said. But our brains know that it's supposed to have little seeds in it. So they're less likely to actually spit those out. The other things that'll help it make less likely that they spit it out is how much. So again, it's about not doing it in a great big jar or bowl where I have to give 5 bites, but it's doing it all in 1 bite. So when I have the 2 jars or the 2 bowls here, one I'm going to put a small amount, less than a teaspoon of, I mean, you can see like I have like that much jam. This one I'm going to doctor up. Okay, I'm going to make this one, the bitter one, and I want just 1 spoonful because that's all I'm getting, right? And then this one, I keep clean. And I keep it clean for a couple of reasons. If I am working with somebody and they don't necessarily want to open their mouth for me because they know that sometimes I sneak in bitter stuff, then I might start with the clean one. And here, take a spoonful of this. And then another spoonful, and they're like, oh, that's good. And then I'll sneak in my medication, and then I will follow up with a nice clean spoonful to get rid of that taste. I mean, who wants lingering bitter in their mouth, right? So otherwise, if I have somebody that is very cooperative and will take it, it's just a really great way to cleanse the palate. So, and again, for me, it is about, you know, making sure that, 1, they're getting the medications that they need, but 2, that their life is good. So would you want to sit around with bitter taste in your mouth all day? No. So anyhow, so all I would do is I would take this, I'd pour in my medication and just go ahead and just stir it up. You know, it doesn't have to be super crazy. And all I do is I get ready for my sugar high at this moment in time. But all I'm going to do is I would see how much. That's it. That's 1 bite versus 4, right? Okay. So I take it. Actually, it's not too bad because in reality, it's so much sugar. And then I would immediately follow up with a small bite of the jam. And now that gets rid of that taste. So it's really super easy to do if you know how to do it. Hopefully this is going to help you and it's going to get the medications in that your loved one really needs. And gives them a life that is full and full of sweetness, not bitterness, right? So I want to end all my videos with encouragement. You have stepped in to a life that you didn't probably expect to do, to have to take care of somebody. And it's so admirable, and so often it is, you're the unsung hero in this world. And so I want to know that you're not alone. You're doing great. Keep it up. And the final quote that I'll give you is from Tia Walker. And it says, caregiving often calls us to lean into love we didn't even know possible. And how beautiful is that? Because in the end, that's really why you're taking care of them, is because you love them. And I hope that during these times that we can help, through these videos, lessen the stress on how to take care of them, so that you can have more of that beautiful time with them, the times when you share laughter and hugs and smiles and joy, rather than having frustration because you don't know how to do something. And so definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel, share it with everybody you know, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave comments or questions, and as time goes on, hopefully we'll have enough videos that we can just have it all covered, right? And obviously, I think you're doing an awesome job looking to try and find a better way to have a better life. So I wish you all the best, and I'll see you soon. Bye.